Kupopo. Kupopopopo. Very insightful words, Mog. Hello there, friends, and welcome back to more Final Fantasy VI. Last time, we got a new party member, Mog, who we rescued from the bandit, the Lone Wolf. And he's a very interesting party member. We went around most of the known world just to try and get him set up for our fun little escapades, and I shared some personal opinions about him, about how I think he's a very interesting character. We'll go with that. But today, we are going to be focusing primarily on Setzer and seeing what else there is to see around the world. Because he's kind of a new party member, let's go ahead and bring Mog along, and of course, Terra is kind of our main character for this segment, so I think it only makes sense to sort of bring her along. And I guess... sure, let's make sure Gao gets his nice dose of vitamin D, you know? Gotta make sure the kid is healthy. Let's go ahead and take care of all of the gear that's currently not in my party, so give me Cayenne's setup. I'll go ahead and build Setzer to have the cards, Mythal Shield, and a few other things. I'll go ahead and cut away for when I have set everyone up. Don't really have all that much to give Setzer generally, other than just a few stray pieces of gear. In terms of Espers, I think we'll go ahead and give him Maduing, because this will give him access to some very powerful attack magic, but we won't worry about that right now. Instead, we're going to go ahead and set sail. Does that work in this context? I guess the airships don't really have sails. They kind of have this giant blimp effect to it. We're going to go ahead and set our sights on a town just to the south of where we were. We have some unfinished business here in Jador. This is the town full of the rich people that we saw before we head to the Opera House. It actually has Ozer's Mansion, the richest aristocrat in the world. However, we don't have any business here with Ozer. Instead, we want to take our attention to the east part of this city. This is the Jador Auction House. It's always full of wealthy aristocrats. We saw a little bit of this area earlier, but we didn't really get to interact with it as the auction house was not active at that point. Looking for something special? Today's featured auction is just about to start. However, right now, we can partake in auction. Let's go ahead and hop inside. Okay, here's our next item up for the bid. Here we have a lovely chest, and inside, a gorgeous pair of angel wings. Trying to do the, the auction house kind of voice. A lot fast. Angel wings, though, is a relic. Do I hear 500 gil? We're going to try and see if we can get this. The way that auction houses work is that they will have aristocrats bidding money, as we can see here, raising the price by increments of 500, sometimes increasing more, and we can choose to bid or not. We're going to have to bid if we're going to try and actually obtain these items, so let's go ahead and bid 500 gil. Setzer's a gambler, let's see what happens. 500 gil. Oh, there's nothing I can't buy. 7,000 gil. Come on now, don't be shy. Bid 10,000 gil. 10,000 gil. Sold to this lucky bidder. Take it away, please. Unfortunately, I don't have a gavel with me, so I can't make the noise. But hey, Setzer's very happy. We got ourselves some angel wings. Well, that's all for today. Come back again soon. Unfortunately, we have to leave in order to set up the auction house again, but let's go ahead and take a look at these angel wings. Where are you? There we are, angel wings. Wings said to have been made from an angel's feathers. Casts float on the wearer. It isn't an amazing relic, but this is one of the few ways you can obtain angel wings, if not the only way. Unfortunately, my notes do not seem to say. I'll have to make an edit on that. But there are a few other things here in the auction house that I want to grab. Thankfully, I have a lot of gil from running around in the Veldt too much. So we're going to go ahead and see if we can get some. There are a few items that are just kind of not worth it. So we're going to be trying to avoid those, but hopefully we can get some very useful stuff. A gorgeous pair of angel wings. We're not going to worry about that. We already have angel wings, so we're not even going to try and bid. We're going to... Don't bid that. We do not want to pay 10,000 gil for something that we already have. We can watch another happy individual go around. So we're going to just... Actually, let's talk to some of these guys. Some truly valuable works of art can be acquired at this auction house. Probably not by the likes of you, though. Oh, well, jeez, lady. You're talking to the world's most renowned gambler here. I want one of those legendary treasures that bring back departed souls. None of the other rich folks have one yet. I've heard you can get one in the imperial capital of Vector. Ooh, well, Locke might need to know that information. Oh, are you an admirer of fine art as well? No? How utterly uncivilized. You're obviously not from around here. Straighten up your back. Don't slump so much. Don't tell me what to do. I've got the gamer pose right now when I sit in my chair. First time I've been here. Doesn't look like the kind of place a down-and-out bum like me belongs. Oh, how could I say no to those adorable little eyes? Ho ho ho. I'm assuming you're talking about you? Daddy! Let's buy lots of stuff today, too. Ah, spoiled brats. Oh, a piece of Zona Secret Magicite! How would you know what that is? You know what? Not even gonna question it. Do I hear 500 gil? 1,000 gil. Oh ho, there's nothing I can't buy. 2,000 gil. 3,000 gil. 4,000 gil. 5,000 gil. Come on now, don't be shy. Bid 7,000 gil. It's a Magicite. Come on, I gotta try and get this. Oh ho, there's nothing I can't buy. 8,000 gil. Come on now, don't be shy. We have to bid another 10,000 gil. Sold to this lucky bidder. Take it away, please. Cetera once again, very happy that he's throwing his money at a giant rock. Well, that's all for today. Come back again soon. We have the Zona Seeker Magicite now. If you look at here, skips a segment right there. Zona Seeker casts the Magic Shield, which will increase the party's magic defense. And will teach you Rasp, Osmose, and Shell. Setsu's already have some progression on Shell. It's not bad. And at level up, will give you Magic +2, which is really good. The highest we have right now is Magic +1, but this will give us Magic +2, so Terra's going to be eyeing that quite a lot whenever we're in an area that can give us a lot of EXP. But we're not done here yet. There's still more things to get here. So we're going to see if we can get some. Ooh, an Angel Ring. Okay, so this actually is something different. Angel Ring actually gives a new effect. Do I hear 1,500 gil? Oh, starting up high. 2,000 gil. 3,000. 4,000. Come on now, don't be shy. Bid 5,000 gil. 7,000. There's nothing that a person can't buy. 10,000 gil. How much we gotta bid? 20,000? Well, this is what the, gil increasing modifiers are for the Pixel Remaster version. Honestly, that might not be worth 20,000 gil if you're playing on any other version that isn't the Pixel Remaster, port of this game, as that is a lot of cash for a, frankly, not great relic. Let's see here. Angel Ring. A ring adorned with a pair of silver angel wings. Casts regen on the wearer, which is a decent effect. It works pretty well, especially if you don't have to cast it on someone. A piece of Golem Magicite. Oh, hello. That's what we want. Do I hear 1,000 gil? 5,000 gil. 10,000? Okay, this is really jumping up in price. Let's just go ahead and bid whatever he wants. 18,000? Did I say Golem earlier? Yeah, definitely not the Lord of the Rings character. I meant Golem. Sold to this lucky bidder. And hey, I get the Golem Magicite, not Golem. I'm gonna be living with that for the rest of my days. Let's call it Golem. Anyway, the Golem Magicite is that missing slot right next to Zona Seeker. If you have Golem, it'll cast Earthen Wall, protects the party from physical attacks. This is a very useful spell that, especially against physical attack enemies, this is this is a good one. But Golem will teach you Protect, Stop, and Cura, which is honestly pretty good. And at level up will give you Stamina +2, which, if you're going to use the Angel Ring, might not be a bad idea, since Stamina will increase the amount of HP you get from regen. But otherwise, meh. Stamina's still not really a great status effect. But those are the 4 items we can get currently here at the Jajor Auction House. And while I would say the Angel Ring is probably the least important of the bunch, as it is the most costly and also not exactly the most useful, Float from the Angel Wings isn't bad either. But the main attraction there are the 2 Magicites, so make sure to come and grab them, as you don't want to forget them, especially Golem and, well, honestly both. Golem gives you a very powerful spell that can be cast when using it, and Zone of Secret gives you that magic +2, which is really, really, really good, especially if you're going to be leveling up Terra. But that isn't all yet. In fact, I want to head towards Zen over here. So we're going to be heading that way. We're going back down to the southern continent. We're going to head down here, as there is a little bit of unfinished business for us here in Zen. Now, this is something that we couldn't have done earlier, so don't worry about potentially missing it at some point in the past. I landed near Albrook instead of Zen like an idiot. No, I actually do mean Zen, not Albrook. You don't want to go to Albrook. I just seem to have them mixed up in my head somehow. Anyway, there is something very important here. Now, I need to remember where it is, like where I can go to find it, but it's not too difficult. Might be up here. Hello? There's this shady individual over here. Let's try and hide in the trees so the guy doesn't see us. Uh-oh. Whew. Don't scare people like that. I thought you were an Imperial trooper. Not too long ago, some people broke into the Magitech research facility and raised a huge ruckus. I used the opportunity to sneak in and grab this glowing stone. For 3,000 gil, it's yours. Sure. Obtained the Seraph Magicite. So, by doing some shady dealings out by the brush, we get ourselves another Magicite. We're just collecting them like... I was about to say candy, but I think that's a little insensitive despite the fact that they are glowy rocks, kind of like the rock candy. But I probably shouldn't be talking about living creatures like they're candy. Anyway, Seraph can use the spell Angel Feathers. Restores HP to all allies. A pretty strong healing spell, but 40 MP for a healing spell when Cura basically fully heals us anyways might not be the best use. Anyway, Seraph can teach us a lot of restorative magic. Raise, Cura, Cure, Regen, and Asuna. This is the easiest way of obtaining Cura. Definitely the easiest way of getting Cure right now. Regen is very useful, as we talked about with the Angel Ring, if you want to just cast it instead of wearing a relic piece. Raise is very nice to have, and of course Asuna is quite useful as well if you don't want to wear the ribbon. But that is all of the Espers we can get right now, and we'll try to raise characters up with them as we do. Let me go ahead and make sure I did not forget about a level up increase. I did not. Perfect. But that actually isn't all we have to do either, as we have an airship, right? So, we have all of these unexplored areas, but there is one area that we haven't really fully explored that is on the map that I want to go ahead and poke around at. It's grayed out, it's bothering me. Let's go ahead and see what's over here. Thamasa, it's a town. Hello there. I put on deodorant today. Do I stink? Setzer? Gal, did you, hey, maybe if it's Terra? No? Then there's, okay, well, maybe the shopkeepers are friendly, They're always looking for business, the customer's always right kind of thing. Never seen you before. Not even gonna show me your wares? No? Huh. Tough crowd. I guess not much else we can do. I'm just gonna leave that place well alone. Well, that was kind of a killjoy. Well, I guess to kind of take our mind off of that a little bit, there is one other thing I wanted to do, which is come over by this forest near the Veldt, as there is actually something I want to do here. Now, because of the mountain range here, you can't actually access this forest area normally during like the save and quest line or using any of the rivers. So let's go down here and see if we can find a unique enemy that is specific to this area. We also have the slot right there, which I just so happened to spam Prismatic Flash right there. I'll talk about the slots in just a brief second, but first I want to see if I can get this enemy. There is one important thing here that I want to try and find. If I can't find it immediately, that's okay. We can get it later down the road, but come on, gimme. Hey, there it is, the grenade, an upgraded version of the bomb enemy. This is pretty much the only new enemy you can get here. Setser's Berserk now. And we're going to be trying to take care of this now. Oh, the cards did really good damage right there. Let's go ahead and try to dance ourselves a... Oh, crit! 1,000 damage! As you can see, lots of HP. Water Lullaby, and we'll do, like, Blizzura or something here. Okay, Water Harmony is going to fail, which is unfortunate. See if we can get the Blizzara here. Unless Setzer decides to take it down himself, which would be very useful as well. 2,182 damage. And Terra's not even in her trance form. Double that, and that's how much damage she would be doing. So, you know, roughly 4,300 damage. At this point in the game, that's insane. But that is the only new enemy I want to talk about right now. So, I'm going to hang around the Veldt, build up some Esper, learn some new spells from some Espers, and similar to Terra, let's go ahead and learn some new stuff about Setzer. So, Setzer, quite an interesting individual if I do say so myself. Not only is he a world-renowned gambler, but he's also a fairly experienced fighter. So, diving into Setzer's stats, honestly, they aren't all that impressive. Setzer lacks any real specialization, like strength or magic, and doesn't have the greatest base stats for defense either. Now, normally this would be a bit of a problem, but thankfully, Setzer does have a few tricks up his sleeve that keeps him from struggling to keep up with the rest of the cast. For example, Setzer is a character that has the luxury of being able to equip heavy armor, which can come in handy in catching Setzer's poor defense stats up to speed with his fellow party members. Setzer also has a vast array of unique weapons that all deal decent to amazing damage and ignore the road damage penalty. Now, obviously, some of Setzer's weapons do rely on chance to deal decent damage, like his dice, but if you aren't confident in your luck, then outfitting Setzer to be a decent magic user isn't a bad idea either. And speaking of magic, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the Magicite and Relic recommendations for Setzer real quick. From my own personal experience, raising Setzer's magic and trying to diversify his magical repertoire has always been my go-to option, as Setzer has more than a few ways of dealing decent damage without the need for any strength enhancements. I would say, focus on boosting Setzer's MP base count, and then teach him as many support spells as you want, since this will give him the ability to fall back as the party's healer or support caster if need be. In terms of relics, most of Setzer's options until endgame are fairly lacking. Giving Setzer a Hero's Ring and some form of ailment nullification is probably the best call. Also, while I don't find it particularly useful, Setzer does have a unique relic called the Heiji's Jite, which will turn Setzer's Slot's ability into Gil Toss, dealing damage to enemies based on how much Gil was thrown. I personally don't think it's that good, but if you're looking for a completely different playstyle for Setzer, this could be the way to go. Now we move on to Setzer's special ability, Slots. When using slots, you'll be shown a slot machine window that has multiple symbols in each slot. By pressing A, each slot, starting from the left, will stop on a specified image shown in the middle of the window. Depending on what symbols you have in what order, a variety of effects can occur, from pretty much nothing at all, some decent AoE damage, summoning a random Esper out of nowhere, or if your luck turns against you, killing all of your allies. This ability is all about gambling after all, but despite that, Setzer's slots are actually more skill-oriented than one might think initially. So in Final Fantasy VI, the way that slots work is that depending on what you're fighting, there are times where the slots can be rigged against or even in your favor, keeping you from using certain slots or pushing you towards a certain combination that could really help you in that moment. Now this situation, especially rigging slots against you, normally only applies to specific encounters like a boss fight. But in every other case, the slots are just going to be normal. So, if you're feeling like pissing off any casino known to man, we could always try to rig the game in our favor. Each slot combination has a set timing to it, ranging from very easy to learn to outright brutal, but everything can be learned. Using the pause feature that comes with almost every version of Final Fantasy VI, you could easily check to see if you're hovering over a slot that you want, and then mash A as soon as you close the menu to lock in that slot. With enough practice, you could be manipulating luck itself to aid you in most battles without any real risk whatsoever. But ultimately, this is the biggest hurdle with Setzer. If you really want to get the most out of him and his special ability for the majority of the game, it is going to require a good amount of effort. And that might not be worth it whenever you could lower the risk of playing with Setzer by giving him some reliable attack options and support tools instead. As always though, it is up to you if that reward is worth the risk and the time. And with that, every new character that we have recently gotten has now had their chance in the spotlight. We've also boosted our team's repertoire of magic quite a bit with Terra, Setzer, Mog, and Gao, as they will be our leading team going into the Esper Cave, which next time on Final Fantasy VI will be doing exactly that. With everything that I wanted to showcase now been gone over, that is all there is left to do. So, next time on Final Fantasy VI, we will be making our final preparations, brief though they will be, and then heading straight into the Esper Cave to see what awaits us. So, with that said, I'll see you soon.